Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to a new Tesla update video on the stock and news regarding Tesla. So my goodness, guys, it went from being one of the best weeks to a horrible week really fast. I mean, it started off with like a beautiful Monday. Crazy delivery numbers, just absolutely skyrocketing all the way up to 1200, and we pretty much not only gave it up but went even further down. So like I said when I was talking about this in yesterday's video, so Tesla again, by the way, ending the day pretty much 3.5% on the downside again. We ended the day yesterday here, and I was talking about, I turned this red line into, or this blue line that used to be a blue line, into a red line because it's now resistance. But the reason is because, well, I mean, we ended in this weird middle ground, and I was saying how, yeah, it can honestly at this point go either way. We can either go up or we can go down. The numbers came out for the job information that I was talking about and completely missed. I think it missed almost too aggressively. And the markets liked it at first, and then they just started not liking it. And then we pretty much slowly sold off throughout the whole day with some bounces here and there. But overall, obviously, a pretty red day in general across the board, like the SPY and the NASDAQ, or the QQQ, I guess, also ending the day red, right? The QQQ ending down just about 1.1% down. Again, Tesla being about I think a 0.2 or 0.3 delta. So, obviously ending much worse than that. So, getting hit pretty hard because of that. But I mean, going over the indices very quickly, you can see that the NASDAQ, or I guess in this case, the QQQ, similar thing, obviously, pretty much the same thing. Still holding off actually pretty well at this, 379-ish level, the 50 fib, which it's been holding. Like it bounced here, and it came down here, and it's held here yesterday, and it's still holding pretty much around the more or less the exact same level as it did yesterday, which is this general like 379-ish level, which is good. And on top of that, even worst case scenario, we are very close to this red line, which has been an overall uptrend support for quite a while, actually, ever since this major sell-off over here back in essentially almost the beginning of 2021. It's been holding fairly well ever since then. Touch point here, and I mean, at this point, maybe, I don't think we'll touch it yet. I think what we'll do is we'll probably go up and probably have another sell-off and eventually touch it somewhere around this area here. So, because like I think it'll touch it without breaking the 50 fib if I had to take a wild guess. That's just my guess. But either way, we're not far from it. I mean, at this point, it seems like worst case scenario is like 375. But if that breaks, that could be bad. Same thing with the SPY, right? A little bit farther down before it touches its desired location, if you will, of like the downtrend. But I'm gonna remove these levels for now, actually, because these are pretty old. We don't need these for now. So that's kind of how the indices are looking, right? They're looking not great, but not horrible. I mean, they are still holding fairly major areas, as you can see, in just this general downtrend so far. But Tesla specifically, yeah, breaking down even further. Now, the one thing that's very important to keep, I thought, was definitely this 1057 level. The second this broke intraday again, this time. Yesterday it got bought up. This time it couldn't get bought up. It almost did actually intraday. You can see here it actually started spiking really, really hard over here, and it just couldn't do it, man. It tried its best, and it just really couldn't. It was just showing so much weakness. The second it broke under, you can see here, bounced off, went back under, tried to reclaim it around this general area, couldn't, and it just continued to sell off essentially. I'm pretty much out of cash. I'm still holding everything. I was considering selling my position here, but I just feel really bullish on the month. I'm still holding everything. I'm out of cash. I'm pretty much out of ammo unless I sell some calls and get a bit more ammo to buy some more shares as a result. But other than that, I'm pretty much out of ammo. I'm just holding, not worried at all personally, because I'm long-term extremely bullish. This is just like short-term noise and short-term pain in my opinion. Long-term, the bulls always win. That's just how it works. It's just whether or not you can stomach the pain. But either way, regarding the chart itself, so we pretty much got hit by this 50 moving average. You can see at this 1073 level twice, yesterday and today. And we ended the day under that both times now, which isn't necessarily the best thing. So we are looking a little bit shaky here, but there is a decent chance that this kind of 1020-ish level does end up being the bottom. Worst case scenario, 1,000, I would say, seems to be the bottom. However, if 1,000 breaks, if this 1020, and especially if 1,000 breaks, that's when things can get pretty ugly, and I wouldn't be surprised if we revisit at least the very low nines again. I'll be surprised if we break underneath this low. That would be really bad. I wouldn't want to see that. If this gets broken, then we're definitely going to this like 850-ish range over here. And if this gets broken, then we're pretty much in bear territory. So you definitely don't want that to happen. But as long as this like 1020-ish level holds, I'm still not too worried. And especially as long as 1,000 holds, I'm not that worried. I mean, it is definitely painful, but I'm not like sweating or anything like that. The only time I would ever truly start sweating is if this trend line gets broken, this massive red one over here. That's when I would start getting worried. Short term, of course. But that's when I would probably exit my position entirely. Let me get some water. My mouth is like, my throat's super dry. That's when I would probably exit my position short term and just wait for like strength to come back into the stock if this ever gets broken. But we're pretty far from that still, so and I don't see that happening anytime soon. if at all. But again, I want this to hold. I want this 1020 level to hold, and especially 1,000. If 1,000 doesn't hold, we're either gap filling and bouncing off this if we're lucky, and if we're not lucky, then we're probably revisiting this line over here. So yeah, essentially, don't want to see it below 1,000, 100%, and ideally don't want to see it below this 1020-ish level. So that's essentially the stock analysis on Tesla. If this holds, I do think that we should be due for a decent bounce, honestly, especially as we go into this the rest of this month, which I personally think is still overall like a pretty damn bullish month, man. Like this is pretty disappointing to see, because I really do think this is a bullish month, but it's just the market conditions, the macro is just really destroying it. So this is actually pretty interesting. I didn't actually do this earlier, but I did it this time just to see for the video. So I put in the fib. You can see from this point low over here in this touch point of this 886-ish level roughly to this rough top point over here. And the fib is a good way to determine how far a stock can retrace. And what do you know? Surprisingly, it perfectly coincides with today's low. Absolute perfection. This 1008. Which is essentially, again, my fib wasn't placed at the absolute most decimal perfect position, but it's pretty damn close, right? That's the point. It's pretty darn close. Like, okay, if we want to do it perfectly, let's see. So this high was exactly at 1,028, and my fib was placed. Let's try putting it slightly closer if I can here. 1,000. I think I locked it. I did lock it. Let's put it a little bit closer, just for the sake of, you know, an experiment, I guess. It's hard to get. I need to like zoom in more or something to get it closer. I just want to get it like directly on it, just so we can get like as accurate as possible. All right, that's close enough. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's not good. Okay, hold on, let's try it again. Close enough. And now what we'll do is we'll go down and we'll do it again. This time over here. Let's get this. I need to lock these. I'm gonna lock this for now so I'll stop moving. Oh my goodness. And then we'll get this all the way to 886.12. Let's get this 886.12. So we'll get it close enough, right? Something like that. It's not perfect, but it's extremely close. And you can see 1,009 roughly is where this fib is, the 61 fib, which by the way, the 61.8 fib is actually an extremely common retracement. Usually it's between the 32 if it's kind of bullish still, or the 61.8. Both of them are great retracements in my opinion. So the fact that we bounced almost directly off of this, pretty much picture perfect, is actually quite good. I didn't even realize it was here. I just decided to kind of, you know, throw this on for the sake of the video, and it's a perfect bounce. So I really do think that there is a decent chance that this is the bottom. Like we found the bottom. This is the bottom, and there's a very, very good chance we bounce off of this, especially considering this market has just been selling and selling and selling. You know, eventually the buyers will step in. It's just a matter of when, not if, right? So there's a decent chance this is the bottom. So I will go ahead and make a claim, I guess, to say this is the bottom. But if this breaks, expect 1,000 to hopefully hold as like a temporary bounce, and then hopefully we still finish up above this general fib level. But this was pretty close to 1,000 anyways, which is good, which is fine. But if that doesn't hold, man, it can get pretty ugly short term, so keep that in mind. But for now, let's take a look at the news as well. That is my desktop. That is not news, that is my desktop. And that is also the wrong tab. Here it is. Beautiful. Let's take a look at this next. So news over here. Tesla Model Y customers in UK told to prepare for delivery. So that's extremely hype. I'm not sure if this is referring to from the Berlin factory Model Ys, or just, you know, the ones that are being imported from the Shanghai factory, just being imported to the UKs. So that's the part I'm not unsure about. But either way, extremely hype, of course, for people in the UK. That's very, very good news for them. Then we have another update from North Judson Town Council. Apparently, they have approved the purchase of a Model Y for the North Judson Police Department. This is always a good thing. Whenever police departments, you know, anywhere, start using Tesla's Model Y, 3, whatever, eventually Cybertrucks. That'll be a sick police car, by the way. Cybertruck for like SWAT members. That could be pretty cool. But as they start adopting this, you know, it gives the public kind of a better idea, or like a sense of security, if you will, around Teslas, being like, wow, if these people that are meant to protect us are using these cars, that means they must be good. So that's kind of the idea it gives, in my opinion, which is great. This was just a for fun picture from Giga Shanghai, just showing an obscene amount of vehicles being ready to get delivered and whatnot, which looks really cool. I just thought it looked really cool. I just thought I'd throw that out there. And this is a pretty big one. Tesla mega chargers at PepsiCo Modesto facility almost installed. Mega charger to bring 1.5 megawatts charging, I think peak charging, with new immersion cooling tech. Tesla to deliver 15 semis to PepsiCo this month, which is actually really exciting. I believe PepsiCo will be the first company to truly get these semis to actually just use and test and see how they go. These are, you know, essentially mini prototypes, if you will, I believe, but pretty exciting stuff, and this could mean a lot for the future of course, the semi-truck industry on Teslas, and if this goes well, which I'm assuming it will, but I'm excited for this. But either way, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about it down below. Pretty rough week, in all honesty, but hanging in there. I'm personally not worried. Again, I don't get worried with Tesla because I'm a long-term investor overall for Tesla. I just have a few shares that I trade for fun, just for the sake of not getting bored, in all honesty. But again, as long as, like, worst case scenario, as long as this red line doesn't get broken, which at the moment is generally around this mid 800 level, I'm not scared. It will suck absolutely horrendously bad, don't get me wrong, but I'll be surprised if we break below this. I'll be very shocked if we ever break below this low over here at 886. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about it down below, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Peace.